I have always loved themed entertainment. Something about being able to go to a place in a town or a city that's familiar to me, and all of a sudden you get transported to another world, whether that be completely custom, built off of some franchise the media has made, or just any sort of offering like that. To be able to go into these worlds and explore them is something I have always loved. So I want to take my step into that world by beginning this new project in this beautiful countryside of Central Europe in my brand new series starting today. Welcome to Universal Deutschland. Alright, as the intro said, welcome to the first episode of Universal Deutschland. We got a bit of a speed build here, and then we're going to do a short real-time section. But as we go through the speed build, I just kind of want to talk about what the series is, what my goals are, kind of what I'm doing as well in here. To start, I'm just building the parking lot, at least part of it. I don't like taking up too much of my map with an actual parking structure, because it already feels limited when you're trying to build realistically in this game with a lot of extra staff areas and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to push it too hard, and I really don't want a parking garage in this park because I am out here in the European countryside. It's kind of in kind of southwestern of Berlin, just trying to fill in some spot, be nice and close to a bunch of people, while also having plenty of options land-wise. But right now we're just going and putting a fence around this area between the parking structure and where the actual, what are they called? The vehicle pay turnstiles, the tolls, that's what they are, to actually pay for parking. Little jump cut there as we go into adding the parking lines. But where I was going with the parking, this isn't scripted as you can tell. I like to just kind of talk about the things as they go. With the parking structure, I didn't want to have the parking garage. I don't like how that looks, so instead I'm building a small parking lot here to act as our primary parking, and then there's going to be the idea of additional lots off into the side. I'm going to build something up in another map, take a picture of it, put it on an upscale billboard, so that we can at least be pretending that we have enough space for, 20, 40,000 people in this park at any given time. Not perfect on the parking lines alignment here, though I did want to just kind of get something simple in. The overall idea with this series is that it's a purpose-built park. It's your Universals, obviously, it's your Disneys, that kind of stuff, where the park is built, it's open, and everything is there day one. So when the series ends, the final episode of this particular run, it will be the park in its first year of operation completely built. For that purpose, I'm not turning guests on until the series is done. I don't want people in the park. I don't want to be able to see how the guests deal with the areas until I have the park fully open. This is also going to help with the frame rate because I'm going to absolutely abuse the piece count. I already have my settings turned to the medium-ish kind of range, but I don't mind playing at a little bit of a lower frame rate if it means my build has a lot of extra detail. I have a pretty decent rig anyways, and I can always turn off some settings. Right now, just trying to kind of line up the multiple rows of parking. Honestly, may have a little too much space, or I'm sorry, a little too little space between the two rows there. Might not be enough to quite back up. I'll be checking that out to just kind of refactor. This whole first run is just kind of a simple pass to make sure it's good, make sure it's gonna work. You can already see I have to expand even further. And of course, like I said, because it's first pass, I mean, those parking spots aren't even, straight lined up. There's a lot of little things. I tend to build a lot aligned with the world or at fixed snap angles. I didn't do that this time. I didn't measure the angle the path was at. I just built something that I thought looked good and that I could work with, and I figured I'd get on with it as I go. Just kind of taking a check around, see size-wise how many spots there are. That's what this is here, just reconfirming the amount of spots per row, and then realizing, yeah, okay, I can't even pretend that this is enough for a primary lot, and coming back through to expand it. Not crazy big on the expansion, but just enough to fit 2-3 more rows in, and then we'll come back in just a minute to add the ADA parking. I say ADA, obviously we're not in America, but that's how I know it. ADA, disability parking, I guess is another way we can say it. Just again, lining up more parking spots. That's really the primary focus here. But what I added there is something I forgot to mention. The map we're using. It is a wonderful European countryside map made by Swifties, I believe is how you say it. It's just on the Frontier Workshop. I'll be sure to put the code in the description. I think this is a great creator for the maps. He's also got a few props out there that are just absolutely beautiful. Great time all around to work with this map. I did modify it a bit. It is in French by default, and it also has a few more roads and stuff I just kind of ripped out. But as you can see, the farmland, the lake, little villa that's back there, I kept all of that intact for now, and I'm actually going to be staging pieces of our scenery pieces that look like construction equipment, so that as we develop the park and we're building up this first year of operation, we can pretend that we're having to tear down some of the things that were already here. Now, you get to watch me absolutely struggle at trying to make a good cross-X type thing for my handicapped parking. I do this for a couple minutes here, but while we do that, we'll continue talking about what the series is, and kind of what it isn't. I don't want to rush myself on this project. I've posted some Universal Deutschland rides to this page already. It's, like I was saying, purpose-built, so everything's concepted, and I want it to be I'm not going to say perfect, because this game is pretty flawed and makes making perfect really hard, but I want it to be something I can be proud of. So if I'm not happy with how a area looks, I'm going to delete it and start again. If I don't think I've given enough effort into an episode, I'm not going to release a full-blown episode like this. I may do what I see some other people in the community doing, and just make some smaller, quick, just primary speed builds, not even really worrying about real-time sections. But if I can't dedicate the episode to say, hey, look, I finished off this great little restaurant, then I don't want to put that out there, as that's just going to leave me room to half-bake my projects and never actually fully finish any of the areas in this park. But back to the conceptualized and the purpose-built part. Everything I'm putting in is planned out with the lands, with with all my themes, with the rides I'm putting in. It's been about a year of me going through different ride manufacturers, different themes, IPs that Universal owns, because I'm going to keep myself strict to that rule set, as well as if I think Universal could realistically secure a brand deal with an IP. They still have the Marvel Superhero Islands and the Simpsons lands in Universal Orlando. So if I think they could secure a brand deal, then I'm gonna put it in. A great example of that is the recent additions of Super Nintendo Worlds to all of the updates for the Universal parks. Coming in back on the parking lot again, I'm actually setting up a little solar panel structure thing. I wasn't going to be able to build it there. I tried, I failed miserably, so I pulled it over, started over, and I just kind of put down one of the ones in-game to get an idea of how they look. You know, we all have that idea in our head of what they look like, but that turned out okay. Lining it up again, grid's not perfect, because I just built something that looked good, and trying to get it on the pole. This is where it definitely gets a bit muddy, and I'm definitely going to come back and touch up, is how these are lined up with the parking spots. because it's not lined up perfectly or anything, you can see in this row it's a little wobbly. In another row, it's going to partially clip into some of the curbs. It's all things I plan to come back to. But my parking lot already is piece intensive, so I definitely don't want to increase the amount of pieces going on there. I'm trying to save that so I can fully detail every little structure I plan to build. And even if not fully detail, at least make the outside of that structure as highly detailed as I can to continue that realistic vibe. You will see in a minute, I have to come back over the structure here. As I can see, there's some Z fighting with how close I put the blue and the gray rectangles. So I'm just putting them all into a group so I can multi-select the individual pieces here and move all of them at once, make it a bit easier for me to avoid that flashing. I don't want to have that from the aerial view because I'm going to spend a lot of time with the camera far away from this area, so that's going to be very prominent, and it's not pleasant. Getting the second side done here, and then I believe we move on to doing some more road work. We did have that beautiful highway with that bridge set up to start the park, again thanks to the map creator, but I needed a way to have the parking lot exit without it going back through the main area, and I didn't want to have it exit directly onto the highway, so I came over here and I started grabbing all the pieces needed for the bridge and dragging it over, trying to see just where I felt it was good. And again, you can kind of get a glimpse at those road signs, what I did. I don't know if that's exactly how they'd be. I did look at pictures of roadways in Germany to try and get that idea, and it was close enough. Of course, my translation on the signs is probably going to be atrocious. I do speak a little bit of German, but I'm not fluent by any means right now. Again, just abusing the terrain here. It kind of pissing me off as I try to set it up. I just jump over to the sign saying it's good enough, and bringing the road back in, I try to do a nice little sloped curve just so that it's maybe a bit more realistic. It could be a road that's just on the terrain. It's not really built up on concrete or anything. So a little bit of painting, just kind of making it a rocky dirt to really sell that vibe. Copying the exit tunnel here so that I can again just have some sort of idea that it goes somewhere without having the limitations of the map border. Really had troubles in this area with the terrain at first. I think I cut a lot of it out, but I had to spend too much time trying to make this terrain look good around this tunnel, eventually just kind of ending with what you have there. Grabbing my road sign though, so I can bring it back in, I can start telling the vehicles, traffic, moving the sun to figure out which direction it's in, and using a bit of Google Translate to help me with a basic sentence, because I didn't quite know how it would go. Essentially, it's supposed to say that if you're trying to go east, you should stay to the right, and if you're trying to go west, you need to go to the left. Although, looking at that sign, unless I went back and fixed it, I did not actually change that to saying left. They'll both say right. So I'll definitely go back and fix that. Adding a bit of curvature just to kind of fill out that road design, make it a bit easier to work with. And adding in one more road sign that says park exit, or at least I hope it does. In big text, just that way anyone driving the car, they can go this way. I do have, you can see it kind of in the background there is a bus depot, but I haven't built that up yet. I do know bus and ride share type stuff is going to be very big for this, as it's a bit easier to use in Europe than it is here in America. So I just have this sign here that says normal traffic needs to keep to the right and buses need to go to the left. Although I've run out of speed build footage, so let's head on over to the real time. Alright, welcome to the real time. Third microphone volume for this video because I'm not good at setting my OBS and Audacity settings apparently. Going in here though, welcome to the edge of Universal Deutschland. This would be our entrance road. As you saw at the end of the speed build, we have our normal traffic and our buses. Buses going down this offshoot here. There's going to be a large bus drop-off area, pickup, drop-off, that whole kind of thing. We have a secondary road here for anybody who may have accidentally come into the park or decides they don't want to come in or anything of the sort. Just that way they can also exit this way. They'll join the bus traffic going down this side road back to this here. This is one of those little modifications I talked about to the map originally. Again, amazing map by, again, I believe his name is Shiftzie. Great thing to work with. A lot of beautiful vegetation, really well done. Not very laggy. Piece count is not too intense. But back into our parking lot here, you can see more of those solar panels. I'll show you kind of a bit more exactly what I meant by the clipping and the weirdness. These spots aren't actually all appropriately spaced, so some of them have some weirdness going on with their curbs. And some of them aren't aligned properly. You can tell the paint lines on each one are a little offset. So I'll be coming back through here to readjust all of that manually. There was a little bit of off-camera work, that being this little just sidewalk that comes down this way, as well as the main security and park entry area, which I've put using statues. I can cram in reasonably about 10,000 people without any real issue. So that'll give us a good staging area for our morning crowds. And we can actually go back through this real quick and check how many parking spots we did end up with at the end of our speed build. I had this number, but it's been a day or two since I recorded all that footage. But if we just grab these, we can see we have 818 standard parking spaces. Oh, wait. There we go. We have 866 standard parking spaces with an additional batch of disability parking. And that's going to come out to total of 1,040 parking spots. So fairly decent for our main lot. That should be plenty to sell the idea. The secondary idea is that we're going to have this road actually continue this way, and we're going to put that scaled up screen like I had talked about to have a picture of a fake parking lot off on the side, or maybe even a small parking structure. I don't want to, again, have a big hulking concrete mass out here in the middle of this otherwise beautiful landscape. Other small things. Let's see if we fixed the sign. We didn't. So if I'm not mistaken, I should just have to come to this guy here, and I believe this becomes links. It's, again, not something I'm entirely familiar with. It has been a long time since I've been fluently speaking German. The terrain modifications, I did come back as well and just touch these up a bit more to kind of get them more in line, though I did apparently miss a little there, so I'll just come in here real quick, change this to sample. There we go. And then a little bit, not mud, we want dirt, soil, debris, and then we'll just drop in a tiny amount of rock on both sides. And the tunnel as well, just a bit more touched up than before. Eventually, I plan to take the moving car idea that was on this map and also apply it to our structure here. I have done it before in the past, so I can have cars come in, park, wait for, a couple seconds, and then they leave, just to help sell the effect more, have the buses actually come into the depots. But the start of our park is right here. This is where we're going to have, again, the security, that ticketing, and turnstiles, and it will also be the entrance to our sort of main plaza I am definitely taking heavy inspiration from Epic Universe for this project, as well as Universe as a whole, obviously. But Epic Universe being a park I personally worked at, and just the much more connected style I really enjoyed. To have that central land that itself is heavily themed. You could say Magic Kingdom kind of does a similar thing with the main street into the castle, but really for me, Celestial Park and Epic Universe just hits that home. Of course, we're not going to be using Celestial Park. We're going to be using something completely our own, and I may even take heavy inspiration from German culture and use that here. But not quite sure on that one yet. I do have a couple concepts built up for it. What I do know, however, is we're going to have 5 lands in this park. At least that's the final goal. Some lands may be smaller than expected or scrapped entirely as construction goes on and we see what we do and don't like. But one of those lands that I'm really, really excited to build is actually going to be a Blizzard world, as in Blizzard Entertainment. We're going to be featuring a ride from the Overwatch. We're going to be making that into a ride. We're going to have the Hearthstone Tavern, which is going to be an eatery and have a little option to actually play Hearthstone games. And then, while not fully decided yet, we're either going to go have a World of Warcraft River Adventure or a StarCraft indoor coaster. But as for the other lands, I don't want to spoil too much. I'm not sure which one I'm going to start on first. I do know there's one I'm even more excited for than Blizzard World, but you guys are just going to have to wait to see that one. For now, I just want to say thank you all for watching. It's really appreciated. This is a passion project of mine, and I'm very excited to explore more in this game and in this community.